It is taken. It is crumpled
It's in
up.
the garbage.
Like this. I swear to
Don't
God.
even show it to your seller.
I do this. I go like this, and I throw it because. Welcome back to the walkthrough, where we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. I am your co-host, moderator, and captain of BAM, Dan Oneil. We have an incredible episode lined up here today. Joining me always, my co-host, the BA, Eric Simon, first of his name. Eric, how are you today?
First of his name. I like that. Is that a Game of Thrones reference? Am I a
Right.
Targaryen today?
You are, buddy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
All
all
right.
I got. I don't have anything else.
Shout out to Diane. On today's show, we have two highly requested returning guests that are both absolutely crushing right now. First, this guy's on absolute fire with content. He might be the new captain of BAM, honestly. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Tom Story. Tom, how are you, buddy?
I am doing great. I appreciate being back here. Same crew as the last time we did this. So, yeah, I'm fired up, ready to go.
And that episode did numbies. Also, back by popular demand, the queen of hooks, Miss Utah Paige. Paige, how are you today?
Doing good. Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
We are very excited to have you. All right. This week, we are talking how to build a newsletter, Rocket Mortgage 1% loan. That's kind of crazy. Agents leaving the industry and much, much more. Make sure to like, subscribe. Hi, Mom. Let's get to it. Topic number one, agents are leaving the industry. This data is from NAR and an interesting Twitter thread here. Haley, if we could pop this up here. I'm going to quote from the Twitter thread that took this data from NAR. The growth rate in realtors registered with NAR officially went negative in May, this month of 2023. That's the first contraction in the number of realtors in America since the 2008 crash. Little scary or not. Realtors are quitting, according to this thread, because prices are now on the decline. You can see a pretty tight historical relationship between home prices and the realtors in the graph below. It's pretty actually wild how closely linked they are. However, despite the recent quits, the overall number of realtors is still very high, just over 1.5 million, way higher than the previous peak in the mid-2000s. So that's indicating that we're still in kind of the very beginning stages of this housing downturn, I guess. The big issue here for realtors is commissions. Right now, the average realtor only earns $58,000 a year in commissions. That's close to the lowest level on record in an inflation-adjusted terms, and well below the good times in the mid-2000s. Not just on average. The reality is that a handful of the whale agents, or like the top 3% in everybody's market, are taking all of the commissions and all the deals. And then everybody else, many of who are probably struggling, are just getting that $58,000 a year level, and they can't afford to stay in the business. So, moral of the story, we're likely just in the beginning stages of realtors quitting. It's an interesting behavioral indicator to track for the economy and the housing market overall. Tom, I will kick it to you first because you are on fire and you will never be quitting this industry. What is your take on realtors exiting the industry, and do you see this in Toronto?
We're starting to finally see it as well. But what I will say is I think when you hear this come out, there's a lot of the industry that will cheer loudly, being like, it's about time. We don't need this many people. I've got a bit of a soft spot in me. It's like, I don't want people to fail, right? Like if they actually showed up every single day and tried hard, this isn't a great thing that's happening for them. Probably haven't been reading the BAM articles over the last year. Team player here, obviously. But I mean, this was obviously going to happen. When you look at 2021, pretty much across North America, deals were falling on your lap, right? You didn't really have to do much. Everyone was just working in their business. They weren't working on it. They didn't care about their systems, their follow-up, because there was just so much opportunity. There was so much happening. And then that very slowly, like the tap was just turned off. And that happened as the rates started going up, because what's happening in Canada was the same thing was happening with you guys. We're just kind of following the Fed, what we do with our rates. And sales volume dropped 40% less opportunity. But all the people that saw what started happening was like, oh, I'm going to get my license. They get in and they're like, wait, this is actually really, really hard, and maybe giving up early. But what I actually think, and I don't know the exact data here, I'd have to look at it again, but like, I'm sure it's agents that got in 2019, 2020. And then 2021, they're like, oh, I think the realtors leaving the industry is going to change that much for the people already doing the business? No, probably not, because they are probably the ones doing under 5 transactions a year or part-time. They're not real. They were never actually your competition anyways. But
Right.
I agree. I think this is just the beginning.
Yep.
Unless the market continues to pick up again, or we magically see rates start pushing down again, there's less opportunity, and you really got to be good at what you do in this market.
Yeah. Paige, are you seeing this? Have you noticed some people maybe exiting the industry that were part-time or that maybe aren't making enough money really to maintain this as a career?
Yeah, well, I also wonder if a lot of that number has to do with more people getting their license and just doing it on the side. I feel like real estate has kind of become cool over the last few years with like the Ryan Serhants and all these real estate shows that make it seem like it's so easy. You walk through this like $10 million house in your 4-inch heels and like show them the view, and then you make a ton of money. So I
That's
feel
what
like
Eric
a
does
lot.
every show.
Yeah, exactly. It seems so
I don't
easy.
need 10-inch heels. I'm already 6'10".
But I think that there's a lot of people that like think it's cool and easy and got their license and are doing it on the side. And then also it was easy for a while. Like a lampshade could literally sell your house. You just put it on the market. Now it's getting a lot harder. So I think it's going to be a lot harder for like, oh, I'm just going to have my niece do it. People are getting a lot more selective because sellers are smart. They know that the market is hard right now. And so they're like, okay, I want somebody who's super experienced, who knows what they're doing. And so it's kind of good for the agents that are a little bit more seasoned and have been going all in this whole time, because people are looking for people who have been really working hard this entire time, and they're not just going to like give it to their cousin's friend or whatever that just got their license. So
You know what you touched upon, that it became cool to become a real estate agent. I agree. And I think that's actually awesome for our industry in general, because when I first got my license in 2015, 16, I was embarrassed to tell people I was a real estate agent. I thought it was like, hey, everyone, I failed at what I was just doing. Now look at me. I got my real estate license. Let's do something here. Right. Like,
yeah,
and I think as annoying as some of these shows are, like the Selling Sunsets, the $1 Million Listing, Buying Beverly Hills, these shows have warped the brain of the average viewer into thinking, okay, real estate actually is an awesome industry. And then also during the pandemic, like Tom said, 2020, 2021, anybody could sell houses. And it kind of just became the cool thing to do to get your real estate license, because all you saw in the news was housing prices skyrocketing. There's 50 offers on each property. And these sort of things are like triggers. Like you see crypto prices going up, you see NFT prices going up. You're like, all right, I got to get in this industry because this is where all the money's to be had. And now you see a couple headlines saying, okay, maybe prices are going the other way, that the people are just getting out of the industry now, just who got their license kind of on a whim.
Yeah. And a few things. I mean, I agree with all of you. I think I don't wish bad upon anybody. I don't want to see anybody leaving the industry, but I do think that we need a little bit of a cleanse. And I do think it should be a little bit more difficult to get your license, at least for me, in my opinion, for some of the people that I deal with. Again, I don't wish bad upon them, but I maybe just wish that they weren't in my market or the industry. With that said, I told my team last July when we kind of were hitting this recession, like, hey guys, if you're in the bad habits right now and you're not fixing it or you're not working on them, you're going to get exposed, and you're going to get exposed quick. And a lot of people have seen that in the first 6 months of this year, or even dating back to really August, I would say, when we lost, we're down 40% transaction wise. And if you weren't doing the right thing, you're going to be one of those agents, unfortunately. So it's just a reminder to, make sure that you're following up and you're doing the things that we all knew that we needed to do, be the knowledge broker, all those things. But yeah. And what I love most about it too, is like now it's, the agents like us can shine, right? Because like you said, Paige, the lampshade, right? Now, like, hey, you know what? You want to use that lampshade? Well, that lampshade gets 90%, above asking, their average sale price, right? We get 120, right? So you want to use the lampshade, your cousin Jimmy, or you want to use the number one team, right? You want to use the best in the business, Paige, Tom, and so it's now allowing us to shine and get back to really like what we know how to do.
It's not the market to take a chance as a seller right now. You're not taking a chance on someone, right? And why we probably should have actually seen this coming sooner. I don't know, Paige, Dan, but I have never had more people reach out to me this year trying to join my team than ever before. And it's all these agents that were doing okay on their own. And now they're like, oh, I actually haven't sold a house in 5 months. And like, I need mentorship. I need leads. I need opportunity. I need structure. That was probably the first sign.
Yeah.
I don't want agents to get out of the business, because the more agents, the more followers, the more people are watching BAM. So I want that number to keep going up. So
the more BAM
agents
subscribers.
Exactly. I want you're right, Tom. There's a lot of people that see these headlines and agents kind of celebrate it because they're like, oh, look at them. They're all the people thought it was easy, and I'm still in the business. Look at me. It is kind of a great little green screen you could do. In fact, we should play one right here by Shane Burgman, who actually broke down this article. Haley, if you got that teed up.
National Association of Realtors.
Look how happy he is.
Now shrinking for the first time in years.
It's like he just walked down the stairs on
You know
Christmas.
about this article. So the article starts off explaining why membership might be down, and it says, as the housing market continues to struggle with high rates, low inventory, and unpredictable demand, new data shows that the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, ranks are now shrinking for the first time in years. Now, it's not a crazy amount of realtors that we've lost yet, but when you're looking at year over year, we're down about 0.66%. Some have speculated that this growth rate is very similar to what they saw back in the 80s. I'll show you a chart that leads back to that.
What's so
It's
funny?
actually really cool. So check out this chart. You might want to screenshot it. All the way left shows back to the 80s, and what
That's
the two
enough. We
lines
get it.
represent.
He's just repeating the article. I will say
I'm just
this.
laughing because Shane is literally, I've never seen the guy so happy. He's got a smile ear to ear. He looks like the Grinch. He's like,
He does. He
he's got a
does.
confetti gun.
I will say this, great green screen. I like how he's jumping around to different portions of the article. I thought he had a good hook. I like the music in the background and the captions. So
How do you do
good
that on
content
green
by Shane.
screen? I think you guys are doing a tutorial. I need to watch it, but like where you make it like makes yourself smaller without like cutting to a different thing. That it looks so cool, professional. I've seen Chris Benjamin do that, where it's like he's in a chair and then it like slowly shrinks down. It looks so nice.
Chris Benjamin uses an actual green screen. So he actually has a green screen
gotcha.
behind him. So he's
All right, that's
he's
a little
like
much
full
for me.
blown. But I don't know. You could minimize your face on the green screen.
Yeah, but then you have to like record the whole segment like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Is he plugging his microphone into his phone as well? Like what? That's a whole nother level. That's amazing.
I don't know. There's something
Why
there
do you have
too
a
with
mic?
the
Why do you
with the
why do you have
I like it because it's kind of like he's a reporter.
Yeah,
you know,
great.
It's like, and I like that it wasn't one of those mini mics that we're not
Yeah.
fans of. So anyway, I think that's enough on this topic, right?
Yes,
People are
why-
leaving the industry. That's fantastic.
Agreed. All right. Make sure to throw us a like, throw us a comment here. Let us know if you see people leaving the industry and how you feel about it. And also shout out to Diane. All right.
Yeah.
Topic number 2 from BAM staff. The listing video from Ryan Serhant that every agent can replicate. A listing video that's quick and engaging. Ryan gets right to the point, starting with a hook. You have to check this out. From there, the video features a sped up tour of Ryan walking through the property that allows viewers to quickly get a sense of the property's layout, features, and overall appeal, while the fast-paced visuals keep the video engaging and prevent viewers from losing interest. We have the video teed up, and Serhant, I was talking to Eric about it, he's very much so like the first person to do something, right? Or try something out, and kind of, in my opinion, he's a trendsetter, right? He's doing the startup videos. He's just always like one state. I even think he was the first person that did the green screen. I think he created the green screen, and then Ricky Caruth just hammered it to death, right?
Ricky Caruth is crushing those green screens.
Oh,
He hysterically laughs before every single one of them. And I think that hook is starting to turn on me now where I actually like it because
too.
you just hear, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, look what's happening with the housing market. And then he just pops up. It's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
But so Serhant is very much so like kind of that innovator, right? And we can all, like, I look to him to learn for content and specific ideas. And I think what I love the most about it too is like Serhant spends millions of dollars on a video team and all the above. He's shooting these things probably on his phone. Like he actually doesn't need the Sony A2000. He's literally doing this on his phone, like on a certain setting. And I love the raw aspect of it. So Haley, you have it teed up here. Can we play Mr. Serhant's? This is not Andrew Undum to be confused.
Right.
You have to check this out. In the heart of Chicago on Printers Row, there's the most incredible home I've ever seen. And it's a standalone building. The house is 7,000 square feet. And you wouldn't even know that it's actually a home because it looks like its own building. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, has that private pool that I just stuck my hand in. This is the primary suite. Look at that closet. The bathroom is humongous. Look at the shower. Oh, don't get wet. The house keeps going. There's an entire other floor. That staircase, that architectural staircase is insane. It's so much bigger in person than it looks. We even got our own gym that I just jumped on that treadmill. It didn't really do much. Look at the views here. And everything's amazing. Like, I didn't even know you could get this in Chicago. The building is on the National Register of Historic Places. You're right across from this amazing train station that's been there for hundreds of years. You have your own commercial grade elevator. And then there's a surprise. Wait for it. walking. You get your own market. You have to check.
That made me a little car sick. I think maybe just because it's a little fast on the screen, but
just puke.
Yeah, I just got car sick. But that is like an incredible video. He does a voiceover like that. It's just a sick listing. And what do you guys think? Paige, you are the queen of hooks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think he literally did one take on the voiceover because he was like late on like saying some of his stuff, but he's so busy. It makes sense. Also, that listing is so amazing that you can get away with it. Like people just want to see him walking through. But like if you have a $500,000, house that's old and needs updates, like I don't think people are going to want to watch you walk through the whole thing. So you'll have to have some sort of hook or saying something a little bit more clever to keep people interested. But yeah, he's the king. I feel like he always has amazing listings, so it's awesome. But yeah, I think it always helps if you have a hook and you're a little bit more creative, but sometimes it's hard. Like if you have a bunch at once to come up with something unique for every single one. So if you have a listing that's just beautiful, at least, have you walking through it. People would rather see somebody walking through it than just, a video of the house. It makes it more interesting. So I think at bare minimum, it's a good idea that you can apply to any listing pretty much, as long as it's kind of pretty.
That would be funny if it was just a 500 square foot house and the voiceover lasts literally 5 seconds. He just walks around a little apartment.
I mean, that right there looked like a workout. Like Ryan just did that, a 5,000 square foot house in like literally 60 seconds, right? Like that's a pretty big workout, but not everybody has not everyone's as blessed to be able to have that. So, Tom, what do you think about like the quick hooks, the voiceover? Is this something that you might kind of implement? Do you have any 5,000 square foot?
Not currently, but you know what I noticed too? So the first thing where my eye went was to the first comment, which sums up social media, which was like, are you sure you want to buy this in Chicago? That's not a safe area, which just sums up like what social media
that was
is.
Me, actually. Yeah.
That was you. But listen, I think like I'm a huge Serhant guy. I really appreciate what he does. Our company flew him in to do our kickoff this year. Like, I think it's also easy as a real estate agent to look at him and just be jealous. But you got to admit, he's really damn good at what he does, right? Like, he's just really good. And I also noticed, I was looking in it, that was not his listing. It was probably a Serhant company listing. But don't think if you're a real estate agent that you don't have these opportunities, that you can't just call up someone and say, I'm going to market this. But he did it the right way. There's some agents in my market that have massive followings on TikTok and they do these types of videos, but I don't see their face. They're not even a part of it. It's like, congrats on your 2.5 million views, but no one reached out to you. So I think you can take that style of video. I think the way he did it with the walkthrough and then the voiceover after seems to be the new trend. Yeah, I think it's a masterclass in terms of video, keeping it quick, the transitions. Like, I was interested the whole time. I think it's great.
For someone who's not
go ahead. Oh, I was going to say there's an agent on Instagram. She's on Instagram and TikTok. Her name's Agent Gila, and I follow her, and she does awesome walkthroughs. She's like, hey, I showed my buyers these 3 houses today. This is what we like. This is what they didn't like. This is the price. And she just goes through, there's a couple shots of her face, and I'm like, I like to see what they are because they're fast. And anyways, I know there's a debate on whether you should show other people's listings, but I never care. I'm like, great, more advertisement for my listings. Go for it.
Agent Gila Goodman. We've done a couple of green screen collabs with her. They have crushed. Gila, if you're watching this, come back to us. Let's do some more green screens. We love your voiceovers. But totally agree with Tom. The voiceover seems to be the new wave in terms of listing videos. I think also for agents who are uncomfortable on camera, who have to be like, hey, here's the kitchen. It's, it's got marble slabs or whatever. Like that takes a lot of takes, right? Like not everybody could do that. And I think this is a great way where you could just walk around and point at things and then do the voiceover afterwards. So I like that. I like that he showed that it's on top of a market too. So he's also giving you some context as to where the listing is. And then I also liked that he was playing a Frank Sinatra Chicago song in the background. Anytime you could provide further context to your video with good audio, that's when it crushes. Like that. Those are my best videos, when I could tap into something like a New York, if I'm talking about the New York housing market or something like that, where it just adds that additional flavor. We really feel like you're in the post. So shout out Serhant. He's a boss. But you know what we got better than Serhant's video, Dan? Utah real estate Paige Steckling's video. This might be one of the best hooks I've ever seen. And we've said this before about you. So Haley, if you could tee up Paige's new listing video, let's watch
Tee it up. Get it? Tee it up.
I may need to work on my aim, but with my newest listing, walking distance from Willow Creek Country Club, I think my aim and my swing would get a lot better. This home sits right at the base of Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon with a creek running right through the backyard. It's 5,000 square feet with a walkout basement. Let's go check it out.
Check it out now. I work the pen to make the ink transform on any particular surface the pen lands on. I care if it's hands on. What's the beat? The coolie high code chiefs. I protect links. I drape off poetic landscapes and shapes.
Woo! Damn. The queen of hooks. By the way, what'd you drive that 485 yards?
Was that you?
Thank you for the hype. It was not me. My swing
Okay.
is like embarrassing.
I was gonna
It's my
say
friend
that's an
Ashley.
LPGA swing right
She's
there.
amazing.
Yeah.
She got like a hole-in-one at Silverleaf, which is apparently a really cool course. And she said, "I'm like, can I just like use your swing and pretend like it's me?" She's like, "Sure," but I tagged her, so I couldn't
I mean,
actually take the credit.
She like could be your stunt double because I genuinely thought that was you. So
Yeah, we all
So-
look the same over here.
So first off, brilliant way to show that you're by a golf course is you just literally use the golf ball in the swing and drive it straight to your listing. That was fantastic. Did you come up with that, or like what was the creative behind this?
Yeah, so I mean, what I really go all in on is the marketing of my listings, and that's what's helped me get a lot of them. And I try to go into the house, like spend some time there, and try to really think, what is the avatar buyer for each listing? That house, as you could see, it needed a lot of updates. The sellers didn't want to do them. They're an older couple. They're like, we just want to sell it. So I'm like, okay, this is in an amazing location, really close to ski resorts, right next to the golf course. So I'm just going to use that as the hook and really like try to, the backyard is amazing and try to emphasize that. And then we'll just show a couple of cool shots of the house.
That's awesome.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always tough too, like when you have a house that, you're part of your presentation is you're going to do a video, you're going to do all these things, but sometimes the house isn't, it's not Serhant's, $5 million listing. So you got to get creative and you have to find ways that you can attract people to the house without potentially showcasing, hey, this needs a gut renovation. Right. So
Yeah.
You know how much better it is to show the golf course and the tee shot going to the house than just saying like, by the way, this is right by a golf course. And then you have no context for it. It's like you literally feel like the house is on the golf course and that tee shot's going to hit it. So it was just,
I want that house. I want that house. And the song, I don't even know what song that was. I have to go back. Like that just made my day.
And you said check it out as the song said check it out. Like it was perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you catch the
that
golf
was my
ball.
sister. I can't take credit for that, but yeah, my sister's a videographer, so she did the song and it was perfect. So yeah.
Nice.
If that was a Matt Leonetti video, he would have been in the house and like 4 golf balls would have smashed through the windows or something.
Yeah, exactly. Hits him straight in the head. That's a great way to show.
Amazing.
We're on the golf course, but you're in direct line of Dan Oneil's
I should have
snap
thought of
putt.
that. That would have made it go even more viral. On the
Yeah.
next one, I'll just get
No, because then if you
knocked
did
out.
that, people would be scared to get that house because if you're getting smoked by golf balls nonstop, that could actually hurt the location. It's great to be a little
true.
off the beaten path because sometimes you see those houses with huge nets in front of them.
Yeah.
Eric's very used to being over there. So he knows everybody's backyard and every course he plays.
Sometimes before I tee off, I'll actually bring my own net with me and set it up outside of all the houses and just put 300 yards of netting on the left side of the fairway so I don't destroy all these houses.
Great
Anyway,
video page.
Incredible hook page. Your listing videos continue to amaze everybody. So great
Thank
work.
you.
And
Thank you.
let's get this house sold here. Where is this house?
It's in Sandy, Utah, so close to Snowbird, close to the ski resorts, and obviously right by the golf course. So great location, close to downtown.
Hell yeah.
I just want to add, because Paige, you're here. It's cool that we're talking about someone's video that's here. Is like that enhanced the house. That made the house look like pictures couldn't have been able to do what that video did. And that's the difference between what you're doing versus a boring listing video going through each room that no one cares about and it's too long, right?
Yeah. It also gets shared more. Like I had a couple people in the neighborhood, and then obviously my friend who's like, I used her golf swing. Like people want to share stuff that's more interesting, and people are like, oh, this is my neighborhood. Look how cool my neighborhood is, And so, but if I'm just like sharing pictures of a house that kind of needs updates, like no one's gonna share it or care. So it helps.
That probably got
you
hundreds
look like a
of
scratch
shares,
golfer.
and yeah, exactly. People think it's you, which is even sicker. How many shares did that get?
I don't know, because it doesn't tell you the exact number, but like
always
if you
delayed.
go on the But yeah, like even right now, like current public reshares, it's like still a full page of them. So
Yeah,
you
solid.
know, when I posted
And
it-
that's just public, not even all the ones they're just sending to their friends you don't see, right?
Yeah, Dan and I just
Yeah.
sending that back and forth to each other, accounting for 10,000 shares. By the way, if you want to know how to review your insights like this, you got to join BAMX. This is the go-to real estate education platform in the game. You can become a better agent by joining BAMX for literally a coffee a month. It's an absolute no-brainer. There's a link down in the description. We have my Instagram course. We have Tom Tools' objection handling course. We have my green screen course, how to master it like Shane Burgman, coming out June 1st. And of course, we have Tom Stories course. Tom, do you want to talk a little bit about your course and what agents can get from it?
Yeah, so I think that real estate agents fall into a trap of saying, I want to make videos because they want the recognition. But if you're making the videos and not selling any more homes because of making the videos, you are wasting your time. That is my personal opinion. So what I did is based on what was actually working for me in my business, and our team does over 100 transactions a year. I'm not just making videos for the fun of it. I'm doing it to get face-to-face appointments. Like, I'm obsessed with this thing, right? I'll show you the types of videos, and they're not the page listing video, right? They're not the Matt Leonetti funny ones, but what they are is the direct to consumer or market focused, more boring, but like educational, that actually gets people to reach out to you when they're ready. And I'll give you the full blueprint.
Hell yeah. So join BAMX. There's a link down in the description. Use code WALKTHROUGH. That's WLKTHRU for 10% off. It is $10 a month if you get the annual. Get in there. There's a private Facebook community. Dan's chirping in there all the time. Join it right now. Let's go.
Yes. All right. On to topic number 3. Incredible ad read, by the way. That might have been the best one you've ever done in the history of the show. Also, give us a little comment here if you want Tom to be the new captain, because this guy is in one. All right. Topic number 3. Rocket Mortgage announces 1% down home loan program. This is on the BAM, posted by BAM staff, Vanessa Bowman. OnePlus, a new 1% down home loan program, was announced by Rocket Mortgage this week. In addition to saving upfront costs for the down payment, OnePlus also offers mortgage insurance at no cost to the home buyer. With OnePlus, qualified home buyers only have to save up 1% of the home's purchase price for a down payment compared to the typical 3%. So if you're purchasing a $250,000 home, this would reduce your down payment from $7,500 to $2,500. I didn't have enough time to really dive into this, but what are the risks that the borrowers face if they default? Is Rocket Mortgage working with like a down payment assistance nonprofit or a government like enterprise? How does this affect mortgage rates? Like, I'll just start off on that, and you guys can talk about it. But if I see a Rocket Mortgage pre-approval, I don't care if it's 1%, 10%. It's in the garbage. It is on one of my listings. It is taken. It is crumpled up.
The garbage.
I swear to God.
Don't even show it to your seller.
I do this. I go like this, and I throw it because you can literally go online, right? You can with your little thumbs and type in that you make $900,000. You own 10 Red Lobsters, but really you're the dishwasher at Red Lobster. It spits you out a pre-approval. The deal never closes, and then your seller hates you. So this is what I do when I see Rocket Mortgage. I do that. So the fact that they're putting out 1% loans is, I don't even understand how that's possible. That's scary. And I also read too that there's another company that is doing that as well, which is even more scary. 1% loans. I mean, I don't know, Tom. You're the captain of BAM. Give me some insight here, please.
I mean, unless I'm missing something here and there's a major penalty to break it, or what it is they're covering the rest of the down payment and they get a portion of the equity of your house or something like that. It's like, I know a decade's passed since 2008, but did we totally forget what happened? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And if you want to go even further here, and this is where it gets like crazy, the UK just made 0% down payment programs for renters to get into the market. Zero. So, I mean, there's obviously more to this story here, but I would be very concerned if this is something that becomes a trend in the mortgage industry, because this can't end well.
It makes headlines, though. Paige, do you, like, if you get a Rocket Mortgage pre-approval, are you lighting it on fire like Dan does? Do you throw it in your fireplace? And
no, I call, like, we got an offer yesterday, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to accept it until I call and personally talk to the loan officer. because I want to make sure they're super solid. I want to see if it's been into underwriting and how solid the buyers are, if it's still valid, all that kind of thing. I think that like the more loan options there are, the better personally. Obviously it's harder for first time home buyers to get into a home right now. So I think it's good to have more options to compare, the different loan programs. I think I talked to my loan officer briefly. He said there was a limit on it. It's like up to 350, and then you have to make 80% or less of like the average median income in your area. But obviously it does get scary, if you're upside down on your mortgage and you have to sell. They've tightened things up where like the lending standards, so it's a lot harder to get approved for a loan anyways. So, if you're solid and you can definitely afford the monthly payment, but just with inflation, you've had a hard time saving up that down payment, I think there's a place for it. But yeah, it definitely gets scary when you start handing out more and more loans to everybody. We don't want to get into another 2008 situation. So
I'll tell you this, I'm going to use Rocket Mortgage, Dan. We're looking to buy a first house. You're telling me if I could just type in, make up my income and get a pre-approval letter and put 1% down, I'm in. So I'm going on rocketmortgage.com right after this and applying for a loan.
Then they're gonna pull up your financials and you're not gonna close on the house. And you're gonna lose your
minus 200 Heat Celtics, minus 400 Heat Celtics, minus 600 Heat Celtics. Can I get a winner, please? Who's gonna win the game tonight? Heat versus Celtics. Someone tell us. Give me something.
My God, the Heat are winning. I did actually win pretty big last night on the Florida Panthers. Thanks for coming. Change.
Thanks for telling me that one, huh? Just keep telling me Islanders.
Yeah,
Islanders wins.
All right, let's move on here. In my opinion, if they're giving out 1% loans, if they're giving out 0% down loans, like listen, VA, totally different scenario. But a 0%, right, no money loan. That's scary to me. What's going to happen?
Got to go to Europe for that one. So I might be headed to Europe also, Tom.
I'll
just go wherever the cheapest loan is. I'm just flying around.
Oh God! All right. If you have any other insight on this 1% loan here, or any other thoughts, please let us know in the comments. Do you guys have any other final comments here?
No. Comment the rocket emoji in the comments if you're listening and you're enjoying this.
Am I the only one that throws away Rocket Mortgage pre-approvals? Like,
we don't have them in Canada.
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
I definitely don't throw them away, especially if they're my only offer. But one can hope.
Well, listen, I don't just not show tell her the offer. I just call the agent up and I say, hey, you need to tell this buyer to get vetted elsewhere, because trying to call a Rocket Mortgage rep is like trying to get a hold of Delta Airlines, to get your bag that's in Arizona when you're in, freaking Florida. It's worse than that, honestly. It's like Frontier or Spirit Airlines. So
the worst.
I don't want to say that I'm not showing the seller the offer. I'm just
right.
Vetted. All right, moving on. 1% loans. That's criminal. All right. Topic number 4. Meta's Twitter competitor app is set to be launched sometime next month. Meta Twitter's competitor is moving closer to launch, with selected creators now being briefed.
Was this a policy decision? They have the war room and they have like a couple cringe Instagram creators there sitting, letting them know that this is coming out.
So they're being briefed at the White House on how Instagram text-based app tentatively titled Barcelona will function.
Weird.
Oh my God, what is preparation age? As you can see in these images that maybe we'll put up, maybe we won't. Instagram is trying to essentially put out a more simplified version of Twitter with more aligned a chat-based feed. It's deliberate because over the last few years, more conversations on Instagram have switched to DMs, with the main feed becoming a discovery platform as users move away from public posting activity. With this in mind, this app is designed to basically be a giant group chat that anybody can join, which is similar to Twitter in concept, but with a more Instagram specific tilt. Eric.
Yeah.
Barcelona. Were you in the room? Were you
yeah, exactly. I was like, you got to name this after Barcelona. I don't even know. Where is Barcelona? It's in Spain, right? Barcelona's a city.
I know, but
right?
I'm just saying.
Right,
guys?
Like, yes. Yeah. You can get a 0% loan there, Eric.
Okay, good. Perfect. My thoughts on this are okay. I don't know if people are going to move from Twitter to this. I think the interesting thing in this article was there was a picture from what the sociopath Adam Mosseri, Instagram CEO, said he said that more conversations are happening in DMs and stories, and that more users are posting to stories now than in the actual feed, just like Dan said. So as Instagram is adopting the TikTok-like algorithm in the sense of discovering a bunch of posts and videos, less people are posting on the actual feed and just posting to stories and DMs. So post more on your stories. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I think whatever. Tom, Paige, help me out here. What's going on with this? Barcelona?
Barcelona.
I hope that
Football
if
player.
they're trying to compete with Twitter, they at least make it like a little bit of a less cesspool of negativity of what
Yeah.
Twitter is, because I don't spend time there because you leave, you feel awful about yourself when you leave Twitter. And so hopefully that's it. And it's funny though, like all these social media platforms are basically all becoming the same. They're all taking features from everything, and it'll be interesting to see, like, IGTV was a big flop, but obviously stories was massive, which took down Snapchat until the next generation jumped back on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with this.
Yeah. Paige, what do you think of Barcelona?
Well, I think for people like me who aren't really on Twitter and I already have an Instagram following, if like those people are automatically going to be seeing my stuff, I would probably start using that if I was going to start making Twitter type content, like just more text posts. But the people who are already on Twitter, it might be hard for them to like move over to this new app that's pretty similar, the same thing. I know a lot of people are mad at Elon Musk right now, right? So like maybe some of those people that left will go over there. But I know my husband loves Twitter because he's like, I feel like stuff breaks on Twitter first, like sports stuff. Like you hear rumblings of things before it's like out on the news. So that's what he likes it for. But yeah, I'm not big on Twitter, but if it like, I would try it when Instagram starts this, because I feel like when you get on stuff quickly, it's usually beneficial. So we'll see.
That's a great point, because it said that with this app, Meta will let you log in through Instagram and you'll already have your following there. So it sounds like it's going to be one giant group chat. I like Twitter for content because you could find trending topics on it. Just like you said, stuff does break. So you could literally search real estate news. You could search hashtag Utah real estate, and I bet you could find someone saying something interesting that you could either retweet or debunk in a green screen or something like that. So Twitter is also a great place as a dumping ground. I always say this, but to test content. So if I have an idea and I don't know if it's going to be funny or not, and I want to not upload it to Instagram, I test it out on Twitter first and just see what the feedback is like there. And if it's slow, I know I'm not going to put that thing on Instagram. So yeah, I like Twitter for stuff like that. It's good to constantly be aware of what's trending, because then you could twist your YouTube titles to what's trending from Twitter, right, Tom? That's your big thing, twisting titles.
And the other day, and I went to Twitter to confirm that Instagram was down. Like that's where I found out that Instagram wasn't working. I went to Twitter. So, yeah.
All right.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's all. I think that's
Well,
that's
you're
it on that one.
You're frozen right now. So
I'm frozen.
I'm wondering if those for everybody or just me.
You're super frozen. Yeah, you're frozen. Okay. Final topic or final thought on this is that it is cool that your Instagram followers, like, it's one giant group chat, which could get a little bit insane. If you have a big following like Paige, you're just gonna have 40,000 people. Oh, and we lost Eric. You're just gonna have 40,000 people in one giant group chat. Like, that's kind of crazy. But I just like the fact that Instagram is constantly trying to improve and introduce things, and like being aware of him, like Eric said, and he's back. Welcome back. All right. Last topic here. This is maybe the most value packed, actually. Eric, I'm going to tee this one up for you, buddy, because you are very good at this. Last topic here is how to create a strong email newsletter. Eric, the floor is yours. And welcome.
Yeah, I wanted to kick it to Tom and Paige and you first, actually, see what you guys are doing for your newsletters. Just completely, reflect right back to you. Tom, I'm sure you have a great newsletter. What are you doing with it? How should agents build their newsletter? And then I'll get into what we're doing with BAM.
Yeah, so we have two different lists in our CRM, right? We have our actual real database of people that if I saw on the street, I would stop and talk to. I've sold them a house already. That's like 300 and something people. And then we have our lead magnet online list of thousands of names of people now, but they're all going to be hit with the same thing. I have actually truthfully taken a page out of what BAM's been doing. I don't do daily emails, but I like the way you guys have the different options and I click on what's interesting to me. So a lot of my emails will actually be a small amount of information in writing and then links to take them to the YouTube update or something else that's going on, or featured listings or something like that. But for me personally, I like them to be clean, simple, to the point, not too much text, not too much information. Because if I get a newsletter, I get some from some of the big banks, and I'm like, this is like hurts my head even looking at this. So, but I wouldn't say it's my strong suit, but we do certainly send one out at least once a month.
Yeah, I like what we do is we have our 5 blogs and then we have 2 or 3 shows. And we've noticed an enormous click-through percentage is way higher from the stuff you put on top, right? So if we want to plug the walkthrough, we're going to put that first. But in the subheader, we're going to put something that we also want people to read. Maybe we'll plug that 6th or 7th. So that way people get through everything as they're searching for the topic that they opened the email from originally, if that makes sense. So don't always just like put all your heavy stuff in the first 1, 2, or 3 slots. Because if you want them to get all the way through, put something heavy towards the end too. Paige, are you sending out emails on a regular basis to your clients?
Not as often as I should. I do some. I actually really like the coffee and contracts templates. I hate getting emails personally, so I send them out sometimes. But if I'm getting an email, it better be short, it better be pretty, and it better be relevant. So if there's local stuff that I feel like is helpful, like what would I actually want to get about stuff that's going on, in the local area, or like I'll send out occasional market updates. And then sometimes I'll send out some of my listings, like price reductions or like the cool listing video. But yeah, personally, I hate getting emails. So I'm like pretty selective about what I send out.
Yeah, I think also what we do, which is really effective, is we plug every BAM article in our Instagram stories, and whatever gets the most clicks, that's what we're going to lead as the email subject and the subheader. So I'm basically using the entire day from 6 a.m. of posting till 2 or 3 o'clock to see, okay, this one got 50 link clicks. It's the hot sheet title. We're going to put that as the email subject. This one got 0 link clicks. We're not going to even put that anywhere in the email. Yes, Dan, you just chatted me. Dan's on mute, it appears.
I was on mute. Classic.
You gotta go.
I guess that makes sense because I was trying to say something. And okay, classic. My email, so we have it kind of like labeled, right? So some of the emails that I want to send out, we have 23,000 people on this email list. I don't want to send my funny skits to a CEO, right, of me in a Batman costume. So what we do is my newsletter is labeled. So we'll send certain things to certain people, right? Like if it's an agent to agent email, if it's an agent to consumer, some of my past clients. So we have like certain templates kind of teed up for the different people that are in the CRM and in the our email list, right? Because again, I don't want my mom seeing me in a Batman costume or whatever. But another agent, right? If I'm making that content agent to agent, then I will. So that's one thing that we've done that's really worked, and people actually love it. And we kind of are now paying more attention to open rate, and people are starting to really reach out and say like, hey, we loved the email that you guys sent out on the market and what's going on. And Tom, back to what you said in the very beginning of how more agents are coming to your team now because maybe they're struggling a little bit. I've been getting so many leads from our email newsletter of agents like, wow, that was great information. I never thought of that, or I didn't know this. It's actually gotten business and also agents to the team. So
I think it's awesome. And the one thing no. Here's the only thing I'd add. I really do. I really do mean that, Dan. No, seriously. Here's the thing though. When you're sending out the newsletter, when you're sending it to that big list of people that aren't maybe your past clients, but just a list of people who have signed up for things, I feel like it's more, you can use the hook to get them to actually get there, right? But I don't need to sell the clients that already trust us to click on a link. They already trust us. I don't need to. So I'm not using as much clickbait stuff to the actual list of people that I've already worked with before, or the people that don't know me or haven't consumed the content. I'll play the game to try to get them to actually the newsletter and clicking on something.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on creating a newsletter or any of these topics above? I'm about to miss an appraisal here.
Perfect. Yeah, just embed your Instagram posts into your newsletter. Pantana talks about this all the time, but Paige, embedding that listing video that you did and then throwing that in an email to people, that's going to give your Instagram more exposure, and it's going to give that listing more exposure. It's a great way. If you don't have anything to send, embed a post that was valuable.
Something interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I love what you said too. You're using the coffee and contracts template, right? Speaking of BAMX, maybe you don't have the time to create one, or maybe you don't even know how to get started and where to start, right? There are resources available to all of us that we could use. And the coffee and contract one is super clean, aesthetically very good looking, right? Haley creates the best content. And so you utilizing that and, using it for your benefit is everybody should do.
Yeah, she's got a Canva course in there. Cuffing Contracts is not in BAMX for the record, but you should check out BAMX right now, link in the description, and join the community so you can hear from geniuses like us every single day. Thank you for listening. Throw this video a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Follow Tom's story at The Story Team. Follow Paige Steckling at Utah Real Estate Page. Dan,
Don't follow me.
don't follow him.
I'm one of the agents leaving the industry. Speaking of which, see you next week, folks.
See ya.